Hey, what's up, 90s kids? You guys remember this, right? You guys remember watching Rocko's Modern Life? I mean, I'm not even from the 90s. I'm like a 2000s kid. And even I know this show pretty darn well. You know, the show that was created by 59-year-old Joe Murray, who was also known for other things like Camp Lazlo and that somewhat popular show on PBS Kids, Let's Go Luna. What the heck is that? So Rocko's Modern Life was a famous cartoon back in the late 90s about a small Australian talking wallaby named Rocko, who probably goes through one of the most weirdest things within his air quote everyday life. Also, Rocko's pet dog is really messed up in the head. So he has like this dog of his named Spunky. He's like this disgusting weird dog of Rocko's who apparently has a sick mop fetish. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. He actually has a weird fetish for mops. Like, there's an episode where Spunky literally seduces and has sex with a mop. And this was made for kids, may I remind you.
Whoa, 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 hey.
Anyways, object-feeling dogs aside, you also have Rocko's other friends like Heifer, who pretty much shares the exact same characteristics as Patrick Star from SpongeBob. Oh, and also, he's voiced by Tom Kenny, so that's pretty cool. You also have his weird, nerdy-looking friend, Filbert, who is basically just a deformed Tensi from Rayman Legends. He has his wife of his named Paula Hutchison, and honest to God, she's just beautiful. Oh, and they have like 4 kids, yet one of them seems to resemble Heifer. Well, if you look on the fandom website, it says that in the episode From Here to Maternity, Heifer is to keep one of the eggs with the said kid in it born. So he lays on it and it hatches and it ends up looking exactly like Heifer, which is why one of the 4 kids looks just like Heifer.
Alright then, keep your secrets.
Alright, Nickelodeon, keep your secrets all you want, but at the end of the day, I still know that that's just phony baloney. Listen, I don't know about any of you guys, but it looks to me like Heifer just took Paula and they just went on to secretly take it into third base. Listen, Filbert, my man, I suggest you take yourself a fraternity test. May I suggest the Maury Show, maybe? Anyways, we're now going to talk about Rocko's closest neighbors, the Big Heads, who seem to have mixed relations over Rocko. Like, take Ed for a good example. Ed, he seems to really hate Rocko's guts along with his friends. Like, he even goes on to call them pinheads. Like, his relationship with Rocko's like Scribber's relationship with SpongeBob. And then there's Bev Big Head, who, unlike her husband, doesn't really seem to hate Rocko as much. Bev would often be seen helping Rocko when he's down, just comforting him a lot, you know? And it's like, yeah, she's really friendly to him, you know? But then there's parts where she just kind of takes it way too far to the point where it's like she lusts him. You see, a while back, I remember watching a video from Saberspark where he reviewed a certain episode of Rocko's Modern Life. And this particular episode was apparently banned because it featured characters being naked and also sexual innuendos. So in this episode, the Big Head's relationship is kind of going to an end. So she asks Rocko, hey, can you help me with a few air quote chores around the house? So eventually Rocko does, and then a few scenes later, this happens.
Would you zip me up, darling? Oh, that tickles. Oops.
Also, they have this son of theirs named Ralph Big Head. He's a cartoonist, but I'll talk about more later on in the movie. So Rocko's Modern Life went on from 1992 to 1996 with 4 seasons. And even to this day, I'm pretty sure many people, mostly just millennials and 90s kids, will still remember this show as a decent 90s knit classic. And then, somewhere in late 2019, Nickelodeon thought, hey, you know what, we already associate with Netflix pretty well, and Invader Zim's Enter the Florpus was already a pretty popular movie, so how about we just get another well-decent made series within our channel, and let's just turn that into a movie as well. Only this time, we're gonna go back to the 90s. And that was how they created Rocko's Modern Life Static Clinic. So, me and my brother recently watched this movie on Netflix, and it was actually pretty good. Nickelodeon, we're still probably gonna hate your guts because we screwed guys over like Sage Greenblatt, and also Stephen Hillenburg when he died. But if I were to give any compliments, at least you guys are good at making a decent Netflix adaptation. Now let's talk about this film, which is apparently 45 minutes. Jeez, I've never seen a movie that short before. I could watch 2 episodes and call that a movie. But then again, I've seen shorter films in the 1800s. So in Static Cling, Rocko, Heifer, and Filbert have been stuck in outer space for about 20 years. However, after finding out there was a remote behind Heifer's butt this entire time, They end up using it to go back into Earth, and they realize that they're not in the 90s anymore. So Rocko and the boys go out to find out what the 21st century has to offer. They find out new technology, 3D movies, rats in trash cans can make their own rap songs. Oh, and also, Filbert gets his own YouTube channel, but he only has like a few subscribers. And spoiler alert, a few of those subscribers that he has, it's his family. And one of them seems to be However, Rocko then realizes that the 21st century is not for him. So then Rocko ends up saying a message which I think we all need to hear.
The 21st century is a very dangerous century.
That's right, guys, you heard it yourselves. You just heard a small, talking Australian wallaby say probably one of the most smartest things of all time. If this doesn't make him smarter than Albert Einstein, then I deeply hate this world then. Anyway, so he tries to watch the Big Heads, but then Bev tells him that that show isn't even on anymore because it's cancelled. Meanwhile, Ed Big Head's whole business is kind of going to an end. Also, he kind of loses his house. So that's when Rocko, Filbert, and Heifer all go into this mission to find Ralph Big Head so we can animate the Fatheads again. Not only to save Ed Big Head's business, but also so Rocko could get his show back. Eventually, Rocko and his friends end up finding Ralph in the middle of the desert selling popsicle sticks. And they end up finding out that apparently Ralph is a Rachel now. What I mean to say is that Ralph is a transgender and his new name is Rachel. So at first when Ed found out that he now has a daughter, he actually didn't really accept it at first, saying that he had no son. But then this only inspired Rachel more to remake the Big Heads and make a new season premiere, with only a few slight changes. So then Rocko tries to convince Ed, and then he kidnaps him to go and see the season premiere of the new Fatheads. So they watch the Fatheads, and we end up finding out the new change that they made to it. They added a baby. So after Ed ends up finding out this, and he ends up watching half of the whole film, he ends up realizing that he should accept his daughter for who she is, thus reuniting them together. However, Rocko didn't really like the change, so he ends up going off and yelling at everyone like some Karen. And that ends up causing Ed to swoop in, telling Rocko that he should stop living in the past and start accepting change for what it is.
We can't live in the past. Life isn't permanent. And if we don't embrace what's now, we miss out on a lot of the important stuff.
So then it starts raining money. Ed's disgusting booger-picking boss goes into space, happily picking over 2,000 boogers. Disgusting! And everyone lives happily ever after. Well guys, now that we talked about this movie, let's talk about my thoughts on this movie. Personally, I loved this movie. It was a really great movie. I actually liked how they managed to reference everything within the episodes from the series. I especially love how they managed to squeeze in a Camp Lazlo reference, which I'm pretty sure everyone had to have caught. I also kind of like the messages in this movie. They often tell you stuff like, you should accept transgenders because they're people too, and you should accept change for what it is, despite how bad it is, unless you count 2020. They also kind of did like flash animation in this as well. Like, I'm not even kidding, there's actually a scene within this entire movie where they make fun of flash animation and reboots. And that's kind of like the one thing I like the most about it. It's like they still keep up with the traditional hand-drawn animation. Like, I didn't even think people still did that, you know, because everyone was using Flash at the time. In fact, I actually did watch Enter the Florpus, and honest to God, I could have sworn I saw some scenes that looked like they were animated in Flash. Yeah, so a lot of good stuff seems to be coming out of this movie. However, I do have one complaint, and that one complaint, of course, being the audience. You see, apparently you're going to have to watch the very last episode of Rocko's Modern Life to actually understand how he got launched into space. Which of course is going to be really hard for a new audience because, you know, the series kind of ended like nearly 2 decades ago. But despite all that, I still think this is a pretty decent movie, and I actually suggest you guys watch it. Unless if you're a homophobe. Well guys, thank you all for watching my review. Sorry I've been in a hiatus for the past few days. This is why, because I have to work with this entire review. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and tap the bell notification bell good for new videos. Also, don't forget to check out my social medias. I have a Twitter and I have an Instagram. Just search up Tyler Trapdoor and I'll be there. Also, don't forget to look me up on Discord. I might be called like Tyler Gregory or Shy Guy Plush, I don't know. Just call me Tyler Gregory though, because I think I might change my name to Tyler Trapdoor. I don't know, but until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.